The asylum stood atop a hill, looming, watching, forgotten. Trees clawed at its rotten wood siding. Windows were like empty eyes, dark and judging. Locals said it was haunted, a place of madness and sorrow. They were right. Deep within the asylum's bowels, past rusted iron bars and peeling paint, lay the Whispering Room. It was once a patient's room, padded and white. Now the padding was stained and torn, the walls scratched with forgotten pleas. The air hung heavy, thick with the stench of decay and despair. The room felt alive, but not with anything human. Few dared to enter the Whispering Room. Those who did spoke of voices, whispers that chilled the soul. They told of a darkness that clung to you, followed you home. Most dismissed their tales as madness. But the asylum held its secrets close, and the Whispering Room was its most guarded chamber. The door creaked open, a groan echoing in the silence. The air inside was cold, unnaturally still. Dust motes danced in the single pale beam of sunlight from the hallway, illuminating the room's decay. Footsteps seemed to echo, even though you swore you hadn't moved. At first there was only silence, a heavy, suffocating silence that pressed against your eardrums. Then you heard it, a faint whisper, barely audible. It slithered around the edges of your hearing, a cold breath against your skin. You strained to make out words, but the whisper remained indistinct, a ghostly murmur in the darkness. Goosebumps prickled your arms as the whisper grew louder. It seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once, swirling around you like a malevolent wind. Your heart pounded in your chest, a frantic drum against the silence of the asylum. Fear, primal and consuming, tightened its grip. The whispers began to take shape. Words, fragmented and chilling, reached your ears. They spoke of your deepest fears, your darkest secrets, things you thought were buried deep within your mind, exposed by the unseen presence in the room. Alone, one whispered. Forgotten, another hissed. The voices wove a tapestry of your anxieties, amplifying your insecurities. They knew your weaknesses, preyed on your vulnerabilities. You tried to block them out, to rationalize the sounds as tricks of the mind, but the whispers wormed their way into your thoughts, planting seeds of doubt and despair. The room seemed to shrink, the walls closing in, suffocating you with their presence. The air grew thick, heavy with a malevolent energy that seemed to drain the warmth from your body. You felt exposed, vulnerable, your sanity teetering on the precipice. The whispers turned personal. They hissed your name, a sibilant rasp that sent shivers down your spine. They spoke of your past, your regrets, your failures. They knew your shame, your guilt, and they used it against you, twisting your memories into weapons. Remember this? One whispered, conjuring an image of a long-forgotten mistake. And this? Another hissed, reminding you of a painful memory you tried desperately to forget. The whispers were relentless, their cruelty amplified by their intimate knowledge of your being. You wanted to scream, to silence the voices that echoed so loudly within your mind. But fear paralyzed you, held you captive in their grasp. You were trapped, not by physical restraints, but by the invisible chains of your own terror, forged by the whispers that echoed in the darkness. You realized then the true nature of the Whispering Room. It wasn't just a place, it was an entity. A malevolent consciousness that fed on fear, that reveled in the torment of others. It had lured you in, just like it had lured countless others before you, and now it held you captive. You tried to escape, to break free from the room's grasp, but the door wouldn't open. It was as if the asylum itself conspired to keep you prisoner. You pounded on the walls, screamed for help, but your cries were swallowed by the darkness. You were alone, utterly and completely alone. The whispers grew louder, their tone shifting from mocking laughter to something more sinister. They spoke of your impending doom, of the darkness that awaited you. They painted vivid pictures of your demise, each scenario more horrifying than the last. You were drowning in a sea of fear, your spirit slowly being crushed beneath the weight of their words. They said those who stayed in the whispering room too long lost themselves. They became hollow shells, their minds shattered by the endless torment. Some were driven mad, their sanity fractured beyond repair. Others simply vanished, their fates unknown. You could feel yourself slipping, your grip on reality loosening with every passing moment. The whispers were winning, their poison seeping into your soul. You closed your eyes, surrendering to the darkness that enveloped you. The last thing you heard was your own name, whispered with a chilling finality. The asylum remained, a silent sentinel against the unforgiving landscape. The whispering room, still and silent, awaited its next victim. The cycle would continue, the entity within feeding on the fear and despair of those unfortunate enough to cross its threshold. And the whispers would go on, forever echoing through the halls of the abandoned asylum, a testament to the darkness that lay within the human heart.